none of us asked for this shutdown, and we're all wondering when it will end and what the new normal will look like as the virus resurges in places that jumped the gun reopening. But for now, even as we feel in limbo, are we making the most of this respite? Let's ask the author of, among other books, The Power of Off, the mindful way to stay sane in a virtual world. Nancy Colier usually joins us from the RT studios in New York, but like your genial host, she's sticking closer to home. And Nancy, I'm going to begin by asking you a question you ask the folks you counsel. How are you lately?
Thank you, Holland. Great to be here. I am ready, like a lot of people, for this to move into the next phase. Just personally, I broke my foot in the middle of all of it, so it's been a really interesting time. Yeah, of pausing societally, pausing physically, really being asked to get still. But I will say, I recognize the suffering and incredible struggle that's been going on in the country. I have also seen this as an incredible opportunity to be where we are, to get off the hamster wheel and be with the people around us, fully present, because there's nowhere else to be. So I've also, truth be told, enjoyed this moment of finding meaning, real meaning in the everyday, in doing the dishes. I don't think I've ever been more fully present in making the bed or even drying the dishes.
Yeah, if we weren't quarantined and you felt like doing some more vacuuming, I'd give you my address. But Nancy, you were the very first guest I had on the very first show when we started broadcasting remotely from here in Rhode Island. And at the time, I asked you for adjectives to describe a suddenly shut down New York. And I was so struck when you used the word beauty. Now that the city is reopening in very deliberate baby steps, give me some adjectives about the vibe there today.
Wow. Itchy. I feel an itchiness and even a celebratory quality to the vibe. Energetic. People are out. They're out. They're out wearing masks, I will say. Tip of the hat to New York. And there's a prideful quality right now in New York. We feel New York strong, New York proud. We did our part. I think we did it well. We're down to, I think the last numbers were under 10. So there's a sense of strength and pride, and it's kind of lovely. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of, thoroughbreds when they're about to run at the gate. We're kind of there.
Isn't that good to hear? We're speaking with New York City psychotherapist Nancy Colier, and I wanted to share with Nancy and you some results of a survey recently conducted of 425 employers. This was done by HR consulting firm Operations, Inc. And with many employees remaining wary of contact at work or on public transportation to work, listen to this, 57% of those employees or employers surveyed say we will allow these employees to continue to work from home. Only 6% say we will stand by our safety measures and insist that these employees come to the office with their co-workers. And 37% were unsure at the time of the survey. And the Wall Street Journal has recently reported that people are actually rethinking where they live because their choice of that residence was predicated on commuting to a workspace, which all this telecommuting has since obsoleted. Nancy, among the city people you talk to, and I know you counsel people from all over and you're using Zoom, et cetera, but of the people who live right there in NYC, how many of them talk about bugging out completely? And have you talked to any real estate executives in retail and office space down off the ledge lately?
It's funny you say that. I just, right before getting on with you, I hung up with a real estate person, Connecticut-based, and she said she cannot keep the properties on the market. They're selling like hotcakes. People in New York are wanting, if they can afford it, a second home. People who thought it was necessary, as you said, to live in the city no longer think it's necessary. Huge exodus from the city, huge rethinking of not just where do I need to be for work, which is a gigantic one, but where do I want to work? Where do I want to live? What kind of life do I want to create? You know, we've had such fixed ideas about what we're supposed to do, where we're supposed to live, the kind of life we're supposed to design, kind of what we have to do. And this pandemic has thrown that to the wind. There's a sense of nothing is a have to anymore. If we can work remotely, if we can be okay without living the way we were, kind of 24/7 back to back, days packed with activity, what do we want? What kind of life? A lot of people in my practice are talking about wanting more nature, wanting out of the chaos.
I'm not surprised at all.
Movement.
Where I live at the beach, and the real estate people there saying the city people are here in droves, kicking the tires on someplace other than the city. I want to show you some video with parental permission. This is Rose, age 4, who lives in Maine, riding a zip line that her dad hooked up in the backyard. And as many older kiddos, college and university students, are irked and vexed by the big question mark that hangs over the fall semester, and cash-strapped parents are wondering, why am I paying all this dough for what's going to amount to a correspondence course? Many college students are taking a gap year. So, Nancy, I have a two-part question for you. Cannot that year be a positive experience, not just for those students, but can't we all decide to make this a time we will remember fondly?
Absolutely, absolutely. The one thing I would say, though, about the students and gap years is a lot of the programs that would make a gap year spectacular and growing are not available. So it's a little bit like a cobbling together of, you know, what would be possible. If school is going to be online and, as you say, a correspondence course without all the important social and developmental possibilities and freedom, you know, that freshman year offers, yes, why not use it as gap year? But then what to do? It's a big dilemma for families. For us grown-ups, absolutely, to mind the gap, as they say. This is an opportunity, not when things go back, and they will, is not to step back into the anesthesia of our busy, busy, busy lives, not to get right back into that same sort of habitual doing, because again, we should, right? We should be everywhere, we should see everyone, and we can really use this as an opportunity to become more mindful, to become more present in our lives. As I said before, the presence in the everyday tasks and the sense of gratitude that we feel for things we never even noticed we were doing. We have a chance now to hold on to these lessons after this is done. You know, I can't tell you how many people have confessed to me how much relief they have felt in this time, along with the fear and all the other challenges, of course, but a sense of relief of not having to live this life that bows at the feet of productivity. Is the moment being used productively? This is a moment to use this wisdom and implement in our lives after this to make a more meaningful life.
Yeah, I've been at home since early March, and I still haven't cleaned out the cellar. So I take some comfort in the fact that we're going to be cooped up a little longer, because I do look forward to checking off that box. Psychotherapist and author Nancy Colier, thank you for joining us from New York. I hope your foot feels better, and stay safe, will you? Now, a scam alert update from author, attorney, professor, and ace scam buster Stephen J.J. Wiseman. And wait till you hear this. Steve reports a Federal Trade Commission warning that emails purporting to come from the FTC claim to offer much-needed money from the Global Empowerment Fund. It's bogus. Emails instruct the needy to qualify for a grant from this Global Empowerment Fund by providing, guess what, your bank account number so they can wire you the money. Don't do it. Steve says the FTC is not sending out any such emails, and there is no Global Empowerment Fund offering anything to anybody. See Steve's Scam of the Day alerts at scamicide.com. Next week, coronavirus survivor Heidi Harris. She's back on the air in Las Vegas, and she'll give us an update on Sin City's reopening. And grab the armrest, as we are now in the second half of a 2020 we'd like to forget. We will do our annual halftime report with Jonathan Harris and Steve Malzberg. Set your DVR. And if you're watching us on DirecTV, set it to channel 321. On Dish, we're 280. If you have cut the cord, congratulations. You're going to love Pluto TV. We're on channel 279. And RT America's feed is live on the live stream at youtube.com/RT America, or in your pocket or on any device, live on our new portable TV app. Download it free in the App Store. It is a scream. And you can find any of our Big Picture TV shows ever since I started doing the show 3 years ago at youtube.com/thebigpictureRT. I am Holland Cooke at home in Rhode Island, the great ocean state, and I'll be back with you right here, same time next week. Meantime, stay safe, will ya? And question more.
I'm Larry King, questioning, listening, learning. You know, I've always said I never learned anything when I was talking. It's important to listen. Question more.